Hey. All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I am here with my good friend, Anita Gaudet, and she is been a wonderful friend to me for years now through my scleroderma journey and our journeys together. We are scleroderma sisters. We are fellow support group facilitators, and she's just an amazing, amazing person. So I'm excited for you to learn more about her. How's it going, Anita?
It's going well. My name is Anita Gaudet. I am a Scleroderma Warrior since 2021. It began with numbness in my hands and tingling and swelling. And I went to the doctor thinking it had something to do with nerves. So I went to the doctor and my pain management doctor, and he sent me to a hand specialist. And that hand specialist said, "Oh, it's carpal tunnel, and we're going to just put some shots in there, and you just have to deal with it." Um, and that didn't sit well with me. So I decided that I was going to uh, self refer, which doctors don't love, but it's my body. And I decided to go to a neurologist. And thank God I did. That neurologist, smart as a whip, said, it kind of, we went through the history of what was going on with my hands. And she said, "You know what? Both hands are just as bad, and they both got bad at the same time. Maybe this is an autoimmune problem. Let's. She thought it might have been RA, rheumatoid arthritis. So she said, let's do an ANA. And sure enough, did an ANA, and it showed scleroderma, which I knew about because I had a friend in Arizona, Sherry, who had scleroderma, and my sister's sister-in-law died from scleroderma. So I had heard the disease before. I had heard about it, and I knew exactly what it was. But as Sherry says, it was a club she didn't want me to join. Nobody really wants you to join this club because it's a lifelong membership, unfortunately. But I already had friends, and she turned me on to the foundation, the National Scleroderma Foundation, where I found a doctor, a very good doctor, locally, and friends. I mean, I started going to your support group. I started going to another facilitator, Peggy's support group, and I got a lot out of it. And I decided that if I got a lot out of it, I'm sure somebody else could get a lot out of it. So I became a facilitator. And I also still go to some support groups, and I'm still in contact with all the people I made through the foundation. So um, I'm blessed by this arrangement, this friendships that we have, because we know what each other is going through. We know the ins and outs with every new diagnosis, the despair that comes and the fear that comes. I have Sjogren's and Raynaud's. I have joint pain and trouble swallowing and gastroparesis, and the people that I uh, come in contact with that have scleroderma, they often have the same issues or other issues, but we talk it out, and we support each other, and we give each other hope.
Which is amazing, which is amazing.
It is.
One of the reasons why, I really appreciate our friendship is that you always seem to be radiating hope and joy, like even when you're struggling. And I was just saying how, I'm looking when I see your Facebook posts and see what you're doing, despite scleroderma, you always make time for the things that you enjoy doing. So like either you're reading, and I'm like, how is she reading all these books? And you're painting, like you always make time for painting. And I just thought to myself, I really want to know the source of like how you, are able to prioritize, those things that bring you joy and why you think that that's important.
Well, joy is important, and I decided at the beginning of this year that this was going to be the year of joy. And in preparation for the year and trying to plan my year out, which I like to do every year, I like to focus on one word and really lean into that word, a positive word. And joy was this year. And I decided that I was going to create a life group through my church. And we call it Chara, which is Greek for joy despite circumstances. That's what it means in Greek. And we get together and we talk about our prayer concerns, our problems, our fears, our heartaches, but we also talk about our answered prayers and our joys, things that just pop up that give us life, that give us, um, joys, little glimpses of what we call heaven um, in our group. So we discuss our prayer concerns. We discuss scripture, and we have a little discussion over the scripture, but we also talk about our pains and our worries and whatnot. And but we always end on a positive. We always end praying praying our gratitude towards the things that have that God has promised us and has come to fruition. So that's one source of joy this year has been my life group. I also have two children. Both of them have gotten engaged. And it makes a mama happy when your children find love and it's a healthy, happy thing. So that's offering me lots of joy. I am a big believer in therapy. I think it's very important that if we don't see a professional, that we just have someone to talk with,
Mhm.
someone to vent to, someone to bounce things off of. We need other people. We need help. Uh, and this particular therapist, she deals with chronic illness.
Okay.
So she helps me to tangle out my emotions. Um, I may say that I'm feeling sadness, but then she makes me extrapolate what about the situation and come up with a more precise word.
Oh,
So she says that her mantra is if you can name it, you can tame it.
oh,
So it's the way that she does cognitive behavioral, but she also gives me assignments. So it's something called ACT. Um, she gives me assignments. How to if I have this feeling, how to tease it out and find out how it came to be, what the triggers were, and how to learn from it. So I'm really grateful for therapy. I really believe in therapy. My child is a therapist, and the other one is studying to be a therapist. So we have a family of therapists, and my husband goes to therapy too. We all are big believers in therapy. Let's see. Other ways that I like to bring joy in my life is my hobbies. I like to be in nature. I was a tomboy growing up, and I like to dig in the dirt. And so gardening was a no-brainer. I am outside every day, putting my hands in the soil, whether mostly it's pulling weeds, but sometimes I get to plant things and watch them grow. Yeah, that's part of it. The weeds are part of it. That's the maintenance. That's a love. That's a love part of gardening. I like to swim and I like to walk in my neighborhood. We live in a somewhat rural area, so we have lots of loblobby pine trees. We live in a pretty much an area that is populated by pine. So we have evergreen. all year long. It's wonderful. It gives us lots of shade. I live in New Orleans, well, north of New Orleans, so it's very hot here. So we love our pine trees. And gardening, just getting in the dirt and watering things and pulling weeds and talking to the plants, that's very important. That little exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen, it's an important aspect of gardening. I also have other hobbies. I like to make jewelry, like my
I was
necklace.
noticing that it's beautiful.
Thank you. I love to make jewelry. I love to paint. As you said, I do acrylics and watercolor. I love to craft things. I love to arrange silk flowers. I love to listen to music, inside, outside, anywhere. I love photography. I love reading, as you alluded to. I made it a goal to read 50 books. I'm at 36 now for the year. So I've pushed my goal up to 75,
Wow.
hoping that I get there.
Are you
Um,
reading them or are you listening to them or both?
I read, I have physical books, I have ebooks, and I listen to books.
Okay.
I am constant every day I'm reading a book. I usually read three at a time. Right now I created a book club. It's a political books to learn more about the political process and our government in these very weird times. Um, so I wanted to see my place in it, where I need to educate myself about what's going on. And I have a group of friends that we read books about politics and government. I also was reading a book called "Choose Joy Because Happiness Can't Isn't Enough"
Mhm.
by Kay Warren,
Okay.
and she taught me this illustration about in that book. She taught me this illustration about a railroad, like the railroad rails. That on one side is despair and misery. And on the other side is hope and joy. And that it's our job to keep balanced
Oh.
because the despair and misery come in this world because this is a broken world. It comes and we can't avoid it. That's life. But we can also hope and find joy, and that we must stay on the rails. We can't lean too far one way or the other. We must stay balanced on that rail. And I really think about that often when things come up, like new diagnoses or, just financial problems or insurance is getting higher or our medicines are getting more expensive. I also think about hope and joy, and I try and look for those things. And the way I find hope and joy is my hobbies, but also reading about hope and joy. I'm going to read two more books this year on hope and joy. One's called The Defiant Joy, and the other one's called The Unexpected Joy of the Ordinary.
Oh.
Um, so I'm constantly seeking joy, whether it be in a butterfly or a flower or uh, a cloud. The other day I saw a really cool cloud that looked like a horse,
Or
you know,
dog.
or a dog or a dragon. I don't know what it looked like. It kind of looked like all three, but you're constantly looking for joy because you can tap into it. It's like an underground well that you must tap into to find. You have to make the effort, of course, to find joy. You have to choose it. And you choose it by being grateful, I think, to find gratitude in places. and also to be be looking for those little pop-up things, unexpected joys.
Mhm.
The flower that's just, a beautiful color of pink, or the butterfly that is flittering on a flower you grew from a seed. Um, that you are inviting that beauty into your world by growing that flower. You're just opening yourself up to joys. And another thing, being from Louisiana, being near New Orleans is called the city that care forgot. And it's because we celebrate everything. We celebrate funerals. We celebrate if a very famous musical person dies, we have a second line. Even if it's not somebody that was related to New Orleans, we still have a parade for that musical person. We find joy by celebrating the ordinary, the life that is around us. And I celebrate anything. If I have a beautiful garden one year, I'm going to have a garden party. If we have the 250th birthday of the 4th of July, I'm going to have a party. I'm going to celebrate as often as I can. And it may be small ways, like we just got special foods for the night, or we're going to, some movie is coming on Netflix. So we get our little pillows and our blankets and popcorn and little snacks, and we just sit around and we celebrate the fact that we're going to watch this movie. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate any chance we get.
So how has your perspective on joy, if it has, how has it changed um, from before you were diagnosed to now? Has there been a
I
change?
think because I'm not trying to sound doomsday, but because I know that anything can change
Mhm.
at any given time now, that things can turn quickly. Um, Despite what I do, despite how well I take care of myself, or I do all the things that I'm supposed to do, things can still turn on you. I I feel a sense of urgency to enjoy and don't let any moment pass.
Mhm.
That, okay, I have 5 hours. What can I do to bring me joy in 5 hours?
Mhm.
What are those things that bring me up? And even when I'm not feeling sad, I still seek out those things that will lighten my mood. Um, whether it be watching a movie, whether it be painting a painting, or making a piece of jewelry, or reading a book. I'm constantly chasing after it now because I want my remaining time, whether it be 15 years or 30 years, I want it all to matter. I want it all to be for something. I want my pain to have a purpose.
I love that. I love that. So, if you could speak directly to someone who's just received a diagnosis of scleroderma or any other kind of chronic autoimmune disease, what would you tell them?
I would give them a hug if I could. That's for sure. I would give them a hug. I would say, this sucks. It does. It truly sucks. But then I would say, there's hope. There is hope. Connect with people that have your same autoimmune or disease. Connect with those people that um, bring you up. Try to limit the people that bring you down or that have negativity, um, because you really don't have much room for negativity. Um, Decide that you're going to fight and you're going to do your best at it. Like it's going to be something that you undertake. You're going to fight it, and you're going to do it with grace, and joy. Seek the joy as well as the grace. Try your best to lift other people up who are also going through something. We get so much more than we give when we try to bring other people up, when we think about other people's needs and their concerns. We actually get something from that. It's scientific.
Mhm.
We get something in return that is bigger than the effort you gave to lift them up.
Right. I love that. That is wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your journey and your philosophy on joy. It is infectious. And
Thank you.
and continue to celebrate those big and small wins and have those celebrations of joy in your yard and your gorgeous yard. And uh, just thank you. Thank you for spending the time with us today.
Thank you too, Cami. Great. Thank you so much for having me.
Bye.
Bye.